gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
2 months after a man is gunned down at work, the man accused of killing him makes a brief court appearance. Dorian Carver went to work at Taco Bell in Scott Township on November 9th, but never made it home. That's because police say his manager shot and killed him after a fight. Today, that manager, Zaire Simmons, waived his right to a preliminary hearing. Dorian Carver's family walks out of court today no closer to the justice they so desperately want.
We're just still like in shock because here he went to work. All he did is go to work. And then for him to end up dead at work?
Yeah, man. And the workplace is a very violent place nowadays, especially in the community. This is coming from Detroit. We all know how Detroit gets down, as a matter of fact. You ask one of these Detroit dudes, they will praise the fact that they get busy, as they like to call it. And that's just a euphemism for murdering other black men. So if you ask these guys, they'll say, yeah, we get busy. Our town is one of the most dangerous, and they'll take pride in that. So what you have to understand, if you're living in a city like that, all you can expect is this type of result.
It makes no sense.
Carver was shot and killed inside the Northwestern Mutual office, not far from the Taco Bell where he worked. Police say his manager, Zaire Simmons, is the one who pulled the trigger. His family was also in court Friday as the alleged killer stood next to his attorney, waiving his right to a preliminary hearing. According to the criminal complaint, the November shooting happened following a fight between the two. Simmons' attorney today suggesting a different motive, one the victim's family isn't buying.
Everyone's very remorseful about this situation. I have a strong feeling mental health is going to play a big part in how this case proceeds at the court of common pleas level.
Wow. So you have the lawyer. Let's highlight him because, these defense attorneys, they have a level of culpability and accountability too. I understand you got to defend your client. I totally understand that. But for him to play the mental health card when you got a guy who's been working at Taco Bell, he's been totally fine, and then one day he, is beefing with his coworker and deletes him. I mean, it's wild that you're going to play the mental health card. So, long road to justice, but very sad story.
Mental health is going to play a big part in how this case proceeds at the court of common pleas level.
He was not mentally ill when he chased my nephew out of Taco Bell down the street into a business and shot him. He was not mentally ill. So we're not going for that.
Right.
Yeah, and and the sister says she's not going for it. But just understand, guys, if the shoe was on the other foot, God bless them, would they be speaking the same way? Would they have the same tune if their child was the one who was being charged for murder and that their child was the one who lived? Would they be singing the same tune, guys? And that's one of the biggest issues in the community, because when it's our family, oh no, I ain't gonna let him get away with that. He needs to get justice. But then when it's another person, especially if it's a white person, then we don't care. But even if it's someone in our own community, we don't care. And you don't have that same tenacity when it comes to not allowing people to, escape justice by playing the mental health card and saying, oh, well, they're just crazy, so they shouldn't even stand trial and they should be thrown into a, minimum security facility and be monitored and then be let out into the streets in 10 to 15 years. I mean, that's the play that the lawyer is going for, Corey Day. That's the play he's going for, and the family is not having it. My question is, would you keep that same energy if it was your child who got to live and they were the one being brought up on murder charges? And that's a hard question to ask. That's a hard question to answer. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think they'd keep the same energy. Okay, and I think that they would try and find some excuse to make sure that their family member is able to have some life to live. And this is it's a very intricate and intimate question for the family. But, you know, if you don't have that same energy when it's your people, then it's hard to carry that out and you know, be able to defend your point, right? Because other guys, I'm sure, in the media, there have been other guys who have gotten the mental health out, and I don't see anybody saying anything. They're like, oh, bro, he got a fine lawyer. That's what they're saying.
We're not going for that.
Right now, Simmons faces several charges, including criminal homicide for Carver's death. His family says they want to see this case go to trial and for Simmons to receive severe punishment.
The ultimate justice is for him to never, ever see daylight again. For him to think about what he did every day that he's in that jail cell. We suffered a great loss, but this young man needs to pay for what he did.
Simmons is set to be in court for his formal arraignment on February 14th.
Chico.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe. Hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take all
What
your
more do you want from me?
Yeah, this is a horribly sad story. We talked to Louis Stafford's mom, who just wants people to know what kind of person her son was, and she wants to give everybody watching a warning. A big smile, an even bigger heart.
He was so emotional. He loved cats. He was a soft-hearted guy.
Louis Stafford.
He was a good friend. I never known him to be a bad friend to anybody.
A manager at the Taco Bell on 23 Mile in Chesterfield Township. Louis' big heart apparent when he noticed one of his employees was coming into work with wet clothes. Dejon Drake admitted to being homeless, and Louis, being Louis, offered to let him stay with him at his apartment, less than a mile down the road from the Taco Bell.
He had a good sense of humor. He was a big brother. He was a younger brother.
But a short time after the employee started staying with Louis, his behavior became combative towards his coworkers and towards Louis.
So this is a roommate gone wrong situation. Sounds like the best of us are taking out the worst of us, or rather the worst of us are taking out the best of us situation as well. But you got a guy that you take in. He admitted he was homeless. You let him stay with you. Not a very good idea taking in another roommate, especially when we're in our older ages. I mean, it is very difficult. I mean, you're taking a homeless man off the street. The likelihood of him deleting you is very high because he's going to be envious of, I mean, even if you got a little apartment, You don't think it's much, but he thinks it's everything. And he wants what you have. Even though it's an irrational decision to delete you, it's better off if he just is cool and you know, plays his part in the household. But because he envies you so much, he can't do that. Therefore, he gets rid of you, and that's what it sounds like.
According to Louis' mother, Louis told Dejon he could no longer stay with him at his apartment. It was Saturday, July 29th.
Yeah, and he was probably breaking all types of house rules, leaving dishes, leaving his underwear everywhere, you know, keeping his room dirty or his space or whatever, not waking up on time to go to work, you know, late to work when you live with the manager is crazy.
That's when the fight broke out. The dude didn't want to leave. He just refused to leave, and he pushed Louis, and Louis fought back and beat him up.
And yeah, he refused to leave. Guys, you can't. I mean, you have an altercation with another black man and it gets physical. In this day and age, bro, you need to be prepared that he's spinning the block. So I would say, I mean, you probably need to sit outside your house or, you know, maybe on out your window, looking out your window, strapped up. You need to be aware, bro, because, I mean, these guys, it's the embarrassment of getting beat up nowadays. It's just way worse because social media age and then the psychology of a guy coming from the street, moving in, you're kicking him out, you're taking away a roof over his head. This is why you can't give no handouts. You know, if a guy is, guys got to get it out the mud nowadays, man, because you give somebody a handout and they'll eat you for it, man.
And so he shot him.
Louis Stafford, just 27 years old, died at a nearby hospital.
I will never understand the universe and how God chooses who leaves and how they leave.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't the universe. This isn't God. I mean, I love the Lord, but we can't. God ain't taking this one, honey. God ain't taking this one. I see if you put it on the devil, say, oh, Lord, the devil, he done did his work or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But don't put it on my God because he didn't enable this to happen. This is obviously lack of understanding of your peers, right? It's a lack of understanding of your peers. If you think that you're going to take a homeless man and he's not family, I gotta understand if it was family. This is a random homeless man who you work with. Oh yeah, he cool, bro. He be on the, you know, he be on the mystery meat that Taco Bell got, right? He be making them cheesy gordita crunches. You know what I'm saying? Until he get to the crib and crunch your ass. I mean, excuse my French, but I mean, you have to understand. Look, and it's tough for me to say. As a black man, there's a lot of competition amongst each other. And there can't be two heads of a household. There just can't. Unless y'all are family, or there's no way it's working out. Maybe if you're in college or college age, whatever, and y'all are working toward a goal and you have a life and a future, but you can't take on a charity case nowadays. Like back in the day, maybe you could have helped a couple ninjas get off the street, but nowadays, I mean, these dudes, they have the music. I mean, I could only imagine what type of music he's listening to, right? Like you sitting there, you brought this homeless man up off the street and he in his room, you know, banging to NBA Youngboy. I'm like, hold on, you think you know what I'm saying? You homeless, but why are you homeless? You're homeless for a reason, bruh. Okay? You're homeless for a reason because maybe you don't want no work. Maybe you don't want to listen to nobody. There's a reason why he was on the street, okay? And you bring a homeless man into your house, and at this point, you know, I don't care what race he is, but, I mean, the odds of you making this a successful situation is highly unlikely. And I know he was trying to do the right thing, but it just wasn't the answer. I mean, bro could have lived in a shelter and came to work on time, 100%.
Police arrested 24-year-old Dejon Drake on the scene. He's being held at the Macomb County Jail on a $2 million bond.
Damn.
A message Louis' mom wants to share.
You just cannot let your heart overrule your safety. The world has...
Yeah, and if you saw... What the hell? You see this guy? I mean, you got to be one dumb son of a bitch to let this man into your... I mean, I gotta understand maybe one face tattoo, which I'm asking about every single one of them, okay? I'm asking about every single one of them. This ain't finna be no, oh yeah, bro, come live with me and I ain't finna interrogate your ass on, you know what I'm saying? It's, this one is self-explanatory.
On a $2 million bond. A message Louis' mom wants to share.
You just cannot let your heart overrule your safety. The world has changed, and it's the luck of the draw. You don't know if you stop.
I'm sorry, but that wasn't the luck of the draw, bro. If you have that many face tattoos, I can understand 1, 2, you made a mistake. That many face tattoos, I mean, even 1 or 2 says something about your mental state when you got those face tattoos, okay? Either you're extremely depressed or you were very high. That's pretty much the only option you get. But that many, I mean, bro is a certified... I don't even know. He had 333 and all this other. Like, come on, dude. I mean, that's... You letting that man into your house?
Stop and help that person, you know, what's on their mind just because they're in need.
And Louis' mom also has a big heart. She set up a GoFundMe, but not necessarily to pay for anything for her family. Yes, she wants a nice suit to bury her son in, but she's also raising money for Louis' 2 friends who were there with him when this horrible thing happened. Reporting live in Chesterfield Township, Camille Amiri on The Edge.
Yeah, the toughest part about this whole thing is that Louis was just trying to do the right thing and help somebody get back on their feet, and then something like this happens. It's really hard to even figure out what to say in a case like this.
Yeah, it really is. And we went to the Taco Bell, and of course they couldn't talk on camera because you have to go through corporate and whatnot. But I talked to one of the managers, and you could see it in his eyes. I talked to him obviously off camera, and you could just tell by looking into his eyes how important Louis was to all the people who worked there, and what a great guy he was.
This is why you gotta watch my channel, because I mean, how could you? I don't understand how you could even make that decision to allow a man who looked like that into your... I genuinely don't know. He looks soulless.
In that short interaction I had with his fellow coworker, just a horribly sad story.
Well, like his mom said, you have to remember safety too. All right, thank you so much, Camille, for that.
A Detroit family is grieving after a young man lost his life over the weekend. They say when Louis Stafford opened his home to an employee without a place to stay, he had no idea the kind gesture would lead to his apparent murder. 7 Action News reporter Sarah Michaels joins us from Chesterfield Township, where Stafford first encountered the worker, now accused of killing him.
Louis Stafford's family tells me that he was a manager at this Taco Bell in Chesterfield Township. According to his family, it was here that he met the man who allegedly murdered him, a man that he was just trying to help.
You would look at him and say, one day he's going to make someone a really great husband. He's going to make someone a good father.
Zonni Juan is Louis Stafford's cousin. She's helped care for him since he was a baby in Detroit, and tells me that since the day Stafford was born, he was extremely empathetic.
He cared about people. He cared about animals.
It was that care that Juan tells me led Stafford to help out 24-year-old Dejon Drake of East Point. Juan says 27-year-old Stafford was a manager at this Chesterfield Township Taco Bell, and Drake was one of his employees.
Guy told him that he was basically living in a tent behind the Taco Bell, behind their job. And he said, hey, you know, you don't have to be out there. You know, you can come stay with me.
Unfortunately, Juan says Drake's behavior became aggressive after coming to stay with Stafford at Aspen Creek Apartments.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, you could chalk this up to IQ. Bro, look, man, I don't see how you can mix up any of the signs. And this is the second story that we're covering where employees at Taco Bell cannot get along. I don't know what's in that damn mystery meat, but guys, I mean, this is self-explanatory. This is elementary school. Like, even a little kid wouldn't trust that man. Oh my God, mommy, he's scary. What are those things on his face? Like, bruh, look, bro. RIP to the brother. I know he was trying to do the right thing. Guys, this is where the profiling comes in. This is where the judging comes in. Yes, I'm judging you if you have 30 face tattoos on your... it's insane that you would even trust a guy like that. I mean, wow. I mean, these guys are... These new ninjas are different, bro.
The people at his job became afraid of him. He just started getting really combative. They were like, we're going to fire him. And Louis just kept stepping in, kept trying to advocate for him.
So he was fighting for him. The employees were scared of him. He was probably threatening them, saying what type of evil things that he was going to do to them if they didn't, you know, pass him the enchiladas or, you know, do the work for him, make the quesadillas he was supposed to be working. I mean, you know, working on. Guys, the signs are there. Everything is there. Everything lines up, but just cognitively, it just doesn't. The light doesn't ring. Like, I understand. I understand that you're trying to be a good person, but everything's gotta connect. You know, your heart's gotta connect with your mind, and the light bulb should have, boom, flashed when you looked at bro. Honestly, I understand. Give him one chance. You make somebody on staff uncomfortable, depending on what you said, you gotta go. To let him into your home, though, no.
But according to Juan, Drake's behavior did not improve. On Saturday, July 29th, Stafford asked Drake to leave his apartment, an ask that resulted in a fight, and Drake allegedly shooting and killing Stafford.
Like, we were thick as thieves. That was really my friend. And I'm so sorry that this happened to him.
Drake has been arrested and is in Macomb County Jail. This GoFundMe has been created in Stafford's name. Family asks that after hearing his story, we think harder about those close to us who are struggling with their mental health.
We move on to the next one and the next one and the next one until we're desensitized. When we have to take our mental health seriously.
Family tells me that Stafford's GoFundMe will cover his funeral costs, and it's going to help out his girlfriend who had just moved in with him. Apparently, both of them were living off of Stafford's salary, and now she has nothing.
Woo! They were living off that Taco Bell salary. That means they were cutting it close. And it all ended because these super gremlins are on demon time.
Cover his funeral costs, and it's going to help out his girlfriend who had just moved in with him. Apparently, both of them were living off of Stafford's salary, and now she has nothing. Reporting in Chesterfield Township, I'm Sarah Michaels for 7 Action News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.